I'm hiding behind the table for some reason. I don't know why. It's a dramatic start to the video. But what's coming up in this next few minutes is an essential guide to packing for the Camino de Santiago. Let's do it. As you can see, I've got loads of stuff laid out across this table. This is all the stuff that I'm going to be taking on my upcoming Camino. Now make sure you stay around to the end because I've got one luxury item that no Camino is worth doing without. So make sure you hang out for that, but I'm going to kind of guide you through the stuff that I use on the 5 Caminos that I've been on. So let's get into it, shall we? Number 1, the old shoes. Well, here we go. The first thing up on our agenda today is what type of shoes should you wear? Well, on my Caminos, I've walked in proper hiking boots, first 2 Caminos. Then I discovered Ultra Lone Peaks, which are phenomenal. I've loved those. Now I'm going to be trying out the Ultra Timps. And I've done a couple of training hikes in these and yeah, they're awesome. Why have I chosen these? Well, a little bit more pad because I know that the Camino that I'm going on next, which is the Camino Portugués, has quite a lot of road on it. Also know like the Norte, if you're doing the Norte, has quite a lot of road on it. I think for the Francés, the most popular Camino, then the Lone Peaks are a great shoe, but for anything that's got a lot of road on it, you maybe want a little bit more pad in the heel. And the foot. Now this is 0 drop, so it's the same distance right along the shoe, and I have loved these. They're super light, they're super flexible, they're not waterproof, just, you know, feet will dry out eventually, but these are all winners. So Ultra Timps, this is the experiment for these bad boys. What should we look at now? All right, so we've got the shoes, let's go to this thing. This thing's very important. Well, this bad boy is something when it's raining you really do need. And here we go. It's just a simple rain cover. So this goes over your backpack if it's raining. Now I like to wear a poncho. I'll show you that in a few moments time. So that usually covers my backpack and I don't have to bother with this. But if it's pouring, then sometimes it's good to have that extra protection to keep everything dry. So that's my poncho. Now I've got the right size poncho for my size bag, which is a 48 litre. I made the mistake of buying a tiny rain cover, which only fitted a 38. So make sure you get the right size waterproof stuff. The waterproof stuff is super important. Of course, if you're going in June and July, probably little need for these sort of things, but they are really light and, you know, it'll do the job. So that's that. Lovely. What's next? All right, next up is this little bag of essentials. Let's check it out. All right then, ladies and gentlemen, this is this little bag. I always carry in this little black bag, and these are my, as they say in the trade, my smalls, the boxers. Now I've got a lightweight material, they're Hurley Surf brand, but these are really comfortable and good, and I don't tend to sweat in those things. And then I've got 2 pairs. So I only bring 2 pairs because I wear 1 pair, and then that night I'm going to be washing the pair that I've been wearing and then putting on the new pair the next day. So only 2 pairs of underwear is what I like to bring. And then I've got 2 pairs of hiking socks. Now I bought these at Intersport in France. They cost me 13 euros each. They're absolutely brilliant. You've got a right foot, left foot. I've never really struggled with blisters. They're short socks, so they're kind of for summertime, but these things are fantastic to my size feet. And then I carry a third because I lost one somewhere, but I kept the other one because in case I lose one on this trip, because you know what the washing machines are like, or when you're hand washing, somebody steals your socks. Not that I'm accusing any pilgrim of stealing a sock, but you know there's a sock monster out there. We all know that. So next up is this little bad boy, which is super special. Let's check it out. Now then, ladies and gentlemen, fellow peregrinos, What I'm not bringing on this trip, because of the time of year I'm traveling, it's going to be May, the end of May, beginning of June. I'm not bringing a sleeping bag. Just loads of space. There's often blankets provided in the albergues, or if you're staying in the little mini hostels or hotels or the little pensions, then you've got bedding. So all I'm bringing is this little sleeping sleeve, which I shall climb into. That is small, lightweight, and a winner. No, sort that out later. Okay, next up, what am I going to be wearing? Well, let's check it out. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, it's a fantastic long pair of pants. Cargo green, as all hikers should have. But these bad boys are wonderful because they are the zippable trousers that can turn into shorts. And what I love about these that I bought from REI in the US is you can also zip it all the way down to the end there, so it's easy to get off around your shoe. You're not fiddling to try and get it around your shoe, which is another pair I had. They didn't have a zip there, and you had to take your whole shoe off to get the bottom section off, which wasn't very convenient. So these are wonderful, and I've also got a rock and roll belt as well. Okay, so that's the trousers dealt with. Now what about what am I wearing on my top half? Well, I've got these two things. Yes, now what we've got here is I've got my evening shirt. So that's when I get to the albergue and I want to go out and have something nice to eat. I want to change out of my hiking gear. So I always bring just a third shirt, usually a shirt, which is a little bit smarter than a t-shirt. And that's just nice to wear in the evening. I have for the t-shirts, I take 2 t-shirts in its entirety, so no more than 2. And I've got these lightweight, kind of like easy sweat, odor-free t-shirts. So they really work for kind of like keeping the moisture down, because when you're hiking with a backpack on, it can get really hot, and these are just good for that. So again, just 2 of those and 1 of those. So that's everything that's going to be worn most days. Okay, heads up, something important, really, really good. It's the simple thing over your face that I stole from one of the airlines, little eye guards, blackout for the evenings. They're brilliant, really, really helpful. Now this is a winner. Oh, let's go check this out. All right, well, this is a tip from Efron Gonzalez, the Cuban heartthrob. Absolutely brilliant YouTube vlogger. Make sure you check out his stuff. He was the winner of this year's best YouTuber for the Camino. Amazing guy. So this is what he recommended to us all. One of these umbrellas, and it is phenomenal. I am so pleased I took that advice and bought one of these. In the sun, it makes such a difference temperature wise. It literally like 5 degrees less under this thing. It is a win. And then of course in the rain, when there's a little sparkle of rain, I don't need to get my poncho on or my rain jacket. I can just literally put this up and away I go. This has been an absolute game changer. Love this thing, really recommend it. Cost me about $40, ordered it online. It's super lightweight, goes in the back of my pack. Win, love it. Great stuff. Not gonna throw that because that's expensive. Let's do it. It survived. I always like to take 1 extra pair of shorts as well. So this is just a pair of board shorts, inside out. And just in case I decide to go swimming or jump in a lake somewhere or a river, I like to have a pair of lightweight, quick drying shorts, which I also take. And then let's move into the toiletry bag and what we've got in here. In the toiletry setup, I've got a spray deodorant, which I'm going to be getting rid of and just using a roll-on, smaller, lighter. And then we've got toothbrush, toothpaste. This thing is essential. This is my little, you can buy this from all of the little pharmacies, but you rub this stuff on your feet first thing in the morning, really helps keep the blisters off. So I always have some of this. My day starts with putting that on my feet before I put my socks on. Winner. The other thing I have is chewing gum. No, this is actually where my drugs are right now. So that's where I've got my paracetamol, and I've also got my ibuprofen. So that's a normal painkiller and also a anti-inflammatory. Really, really helpful. And because I've had 7 operations on my knees, I've got no cartilage and ligaments, they're a mess. Often I will actually take an anti-inflammatory kind of like halfway through the morning at 11 o'clock before I start to get into pain, because I know that I'm walking with pain every day. So I take one of those, try to get ahead of the inflammation. And then this stuff, this is Vaseline. Now, this stuff's amazing. One of the things that is a real problem on hiking, especially your first few days, is you get chafing. You sometimes can get chafing from your backpack around here and also in between your legs, which is just a nightmare. Sometimes that's because you've got the wrong underwear or the wrong pair of trousers or shorts, and that material's rubbing against your legs and it can become quite painful. So this is stuff that I wear to prevent that, and I'll just have a little rub downstairs just to protect all the important elements from chafing and rubbing. Brilliant stuff. Vaseline, really hard to find actually in Spain. The other stuff that I use in Spain, if I do end up with any kind of rub, is I look for the baby cream, nappy baby cream. That stuff heals. It's like zinc. It heals incredibly well. So there's so many pharmacies everywhere you go, so you can end up spending a fortune on all this stuff every single day. So I take a little bit with me, but you can always find it on the road. And that's my toiletries. Now I'm traveling on this occasion with my wife, so she's going to be bringing shampoo and soaps and all that sort of stuff, and I don't need to have it in my pack and carry the weight. Winner. Flip-flops. So a pair of flip-flops are super helpful at the end of your day, once you've kind of finished walking and your feet are killing, to be able to change into these, to go into the shower, to walk around town, just to be in something softer and easier. These are Van flip-flops. They cost me about 40 bucks, and they're not that lightweight, but they are really comfortable and almost a luxury item in the weight. Normally I'd try to find something lighter, but they're just super comfortable and brilliant. And there's a bunch of people that walk actually the Camino in flip-flops, and there's a bunch of people that walk the Camino barefoot, but that's not for me. These are nice at the end of a long day. You can get your feet out and breathe. Wonderful. So there's the flip-flops. All right, important documentation. Let's check that out. What have we got here? You got to have your passport. This is my my British passport. That's going to be essential. Now, on one of my Caminos, when I was living in France, I just literally lived across the border, and I would be going into Spain the whole time and not taking my passport. And I didn't think to even bring my passport. I rocked up to, after the first day of hiking, from Saint-Jean-Pied-de-Port to Rosseville, and the woman there had an absolute fit that I'd not brought my passport. I showed her my digital passport, you know, the picture on my phone, and she wasn't happy with that. She was freaking out and was going to send our entire family, you know, away. And this was like at late, you know, 7, 8 o'clock at night when we eventually arrived. So make sure that you've got your passport with you, whatever that may be. That's an absolute winner. And then the other thing that, of course, you need is your Camino passport, which I'll show you a little bit later because it's not here. Now, remember, at the end of all of this, I'm going to show you my luxury item, which I wouldn't do a Camino without. But now let's crack on with the electronics that I use. Oh, wow. Okay, we've got lots of stuff here. This is the electronics that I carry. So we've got some key things here. First and foremost, the old mobile phone. That's essential for all of the for apps and communication and taking quick pictures. I often use my mobile phone for phoning and for filming as well. And then we've got the this is a brilliant piece of kit. The Osmo Pocket 3 from DJI. Actually, I'm filming on it right now. This is the case. You can see it's empty, and this is just a brilliant thing to vlog with. It's super small, super lightweight, gives great picture quality, an absolute winner. So I'm going to be carrying that. That's the case that goes with that, with all the gizmos and the bits and pieces, tripods that go with that, extra batteries, everything's in there. So that's good stuff. And then we've got a battery charging block. Really, really important to have one of those. That's the smallest I could find. It charges both the little things, USB-C or something. Yes, USB-C, and then a normal USB plug there. So that's fantastic. That gets me through the course of the day and charges all my electrics. Also inside this little bag here, which attaches to my belt, I've got a little mini micro hover drone. Check this out. I mean, that thing there is just absolutely small and wonderful and captures all those wonderful shots. So that's my little hover drone, which just fits in a pocket, or this little pouch, and that really makes a difference to all the filming stuff. And then I try to get 90% of my filming stuff into this little pack here, which just kind of holds my cameras, my batteries, my phone, and then that sits up on my backpack nice and high, so I can just access everything when I want it. So that's all my tech stuff right there. Oh, and of course there's some chargers and cables, which are in another little pack on the table. But yeah, there's all my tech filming stuff. All right then, we're moving up the table. Things are progressing nicely. What's the next thing on the list? Let's have a look at the walking sticks, shall we? All right, let's go do it. Walking sticks. These are Lecky walking sticks. They are the ones that fit together like this, and then you do a little funky thing here, and that kind of locks them in, and there we go. I like the cork handle. Absolutely brilliant. These cork handles just feel really comfortable under the hand, and they're super lightweight, carbon fiber, and I was very fortunate. These usually cost like $150 or $200. I managed to get these over in the US from a secondhand shop for $15. Woo! An absolute win. So they're an absolute favorite of mine. Now, one thing you need to remember when you're over in Spain, especially if you're walking a long Camino that's 30 odd days, then you're going to want to have spare rubbers that go on the end of your walking sticks. These rubbers cost €4 from Intersport or from Decathlon. I always usually buy them from Decathlon, and €4 for a set of 2. And what's important is you buy some backups. So, because you're going to lose those, or they're going to, the metal's going to pop through, and then you have the tick, tick, tick the whole time, and that's a nightmare for all the local people as you walk through towns. So the rubbers are really good for when you're walking on the road. Obviously, when you're out off the roads and you're in the trail, then you want these rubbers off, and you want to be saving the top of them, and you put them into your pack, and you walk with just the metals. But the rubbers, important to have some backups of those, so I'll be getting some of those as well. There we go. So that's my walking sticks. What about a headlamp? Now, if you're walking in June or July or August or May, why would you do that way around? May, June, July or August, then it's going to be kind of light in the evenings and light in the mornings, so you're unlikely to need one of these. But if you do, this is a great one because the different settings. It's got an orange, a red setting, so it's not bright when you're in the albergue and disturbing everybody, and then it's also got its normal white setting as well. So that's a headlamp, very useful. This has just got changeable batteries that I can buy on the way, so happy with that. That's a good one. Now this is also really helpful, but I can't show you this without first showing you that. So let's go look at both of these things, shall we? All right, here we go. So we've got the Exos 48 from Osprey. This backpack is phenomenal. It's got the kind of like the spring system here. If you see, if I hold this up, you can see that it's got this kind of mesh here, and it's raised up from the back of the suit, which basically means this backpack is not touching my back. My back is touching on this, which keeps the airflow going through my back as I hike and walk. So it saves me getting really hot and sweaty. This is phenomenal. It's super, super lightweight. So it's one of these ultra light backpacks. It cost me around about $270 in the US from REI, and has been brilliant. I've had a few of these over the years since they first came out, and I love it. Now, this is the Osprey water bladder. I've just been using lots of different water bladders from, the cheapest ones I could basically find from Decathlon. But this year I bought this one, which is the Osprey 3-litre water bladder, and actually it's really, really good. What's super good about this is that you have this little flap at the top where for getting water in, it's kind of solid around here and really helps when you're pouring water into your bladder on an angle, which is often what you're doing into a sink. So this just easily fills through the bladder while holding this just next to it. And then you've got a quick release thing here, which means that my top of my well, the top of it's supposed to be here and it's not. I've lost. So what's really good is that this attaches to a quick release tube, which kind of sits on your pack here, and then saves you having to take the whole thing out and thread it through here and all that sort of stuff. Brilliant. The only disadvantage is that if you lose that top section, then this is completely useless, which it seems to be that I've done. I've lost it. See if I can find it. I've found it. There it is. Genius, eh? Pack's genius, bladder's genius, and Osprey, good job. Lifetime guarantee as well. Any problems you have, send it to them, they fix it, send it back to you, or they give you a new one. Brilliant company, love it. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, we are zoning in on the very end of this long video that's been going through all the stuff that fits in my pack, and we're down to the last couple of things. So let's look at the jacket that I wear when I'm getting cold. Here it is. Brilliant jacket. I love this thing. This thing is just absolutely been a winner. It's comfortable, it's super lightweight. It looks good. It's a great way to start the mornings on the Camino. I absolutely adore this jacket. Cost in the sale about $150 for a down jacket. It's not too bad. I've had much cheaper ones in the past, but this thing just really is like quality and good and is worth buying. If you're doing this kind of hiking stuff on a regular basis, having a good top surface is brilliant. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we're coming to the very end of this What's in My Pack Santiago Camino packing list, and we're down to my almost to my luxury items. I've got my poncho here, which is for me better than a rain jacket because you can just put it on really quickly. Again, I bought this, fits over my backpack as well. I bought that from Decathlon, which is probably the best place you can buy most of your hiking stuff for the Camino. Decathlon exists in France and in Spain and most of Europe. So you can actually get here a couple of days early, go shopping for the things that you don't have from Decathlon. And I'm telling you, it's really cheap for fleeces, for hoodies, for backpacks. It's a brilliant, brilliant shop. Cheaper than anywhere else, I think, on the planet. These are my 2 luxury items. Let's go, actually 3 luxury items. Let's go check them out. So these are my final items that are going to go into my backpack. And I've got a couple of things that you don't need to take, but I love to take. I've got my journal here, which I love to write down my thoughts and scribble away. So I'm going to be taking that. They're those moments of reflection, thinking about what life is about, what's happening in your heart, what is it that you're learning as you walk the Camino. And for me as a vicar, as a Christian, kind of praying and talking to God is an essential part of this Christian pilgrimage. And Christians have been walking this thing for thousands of years as they walk to Santiago on this journey to experience God's presence and get closer to Him. So this is a way by which I record my thoughts, my feelings, and my prayers as I walk. Phenomenal. Another spiritual thing that I bring with me are these rosary beads. Now, as I mentioned, this is a Catholic pilgrimage, a spiritual pilgrimage that people have been doing over 1,000 years. I'm a Protestant pastor, and rosary beads are not really part of my tradition, but I got given this by a young guy who I was walking with on the Camino Primitivo, and he didn't have a shell. So he asked me where to buy a shell. He saw my shell, and He said, where do I get one of those? And I just said, hey mate, you can take this one. And I gave it to him, not even thinking about it. And then he said, Rich, I want to give you these rosary beads. And these are from my mum. They are really precious to me. Your generosity has touched me, which I was just giving him a shell. And he gave me these. And ever since then, I've been carrying these rosary beads and just praying for all of my friends and my family, and for the people that I love in the world, and for the people that I struggle with in the world. These rosary beads have been really helpful. So yeah, I mean, it's a pilgrimage, it's a journey of prayer and exploration, so they're very helpful. And then my final thing that is a luxury item that I don't do any Camino without this item is a microfiber towel. Now, you say, what's the big deal? Microfiber towel is what everybody takes on the Camino. Yes, now I've taken a bunch of microfiber towels, but this one is large. And normally you go for the smallest, tiniest hand cloth because you're thinking space and size and all that sort of stuff. But I decided that no, I want a big, massive one that fits round me when I come out of the shower. It actually fits me as opposed to walking like this, covering my all-togethers with a tiny hand towel. So this thing is a luxury item. And even when I'm going ultra light, getting rid of as much as I possibly can, this is one of the things that I don't compromise on. Yeah, it's light, it folds down reasonably small, but a nice big towel is a win. So there it is. So let's do it. I hope you enjoyed this video, and maybe consider liking and subscribing and checking out some of the other videos that I've done on the Camino. I've got a whole bunch of vlogs from the Camino de Santiago, the Francés way, and also the Norte, and a couple of things over in Switzerland. And there's the Primitivo coming out soon, and then the Portuguese coming out soon. So there's gonna be loads of activity on this little channel. But I hope you enjoyed the video, found it informative, and let's get this bag packed, shall we?